Welcome back, everyone, to the Deep Dive. You know how much we love to explore all those fascinating nooks and crannies of human behavior? And this time we're diving into something that I think pretty much everyone has thought about at one time or another.
I think you might be right about that.
Yeah, I mean, who hasn't wondered what makes someone sexually attractive, right?
It's definitely one of those universal mysteries.
Totally. So you guys sent in a ton of requests for this one, and we found the perfect source to really dig into it, a WikiHow article, no less.
WikiHow, you said?
You heard that right. How to be sexually attractive. 21 expert seduction methods. It's way more in-depth than the title might lead you to believe. And get this, it's actually packed with insights, backed by research and written by a real expert in the field.
I am intrigued. Tell me more.
So the author, Jacqueline Hellier, she's a licensed psychosexual therapist.
Okay, so we're not messing around here. This is legit.
Oh yeah, she's got like 2 decades of experience, a bunch of degrees in things like biochemistry, sexual health, psychology, you name it. And her work has been featured in a whole bunch of credible publications.
Wow, she's clearly not just pulling this out of thin air.
Nope. This is the real deal. And that's why we're so excited to break it all down for you in this deep dive. We're going to look at the key methods, why they work, and what you can actually take away from all of this.
I'm ready to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so first up, right out the gate, the article goes all in on confidence as being the most important factor.
Makes sense. You always hear about how confidence is attractive.
But it's more than just like swaggering around thinking you're all that. This is about genuine self-esteem. The article really digs into this idea that the more self-accepting and independent you are, the more you have going on in your life that isn't about finding a partner, the more attractive you become.
Oh, I like that. It's like the less you need someone else to complete you, the more interesting you become.
Exactly. It's kind of like a paradox. You're not desperately seeking validation, so you radiate this kind of effortless appeal.
There's actually a lot of research in attachment theory that backs this up. People who have a secure attachment style, meaning they're comfortable with themselves and don't rely on others for their self-worth, they tend to come across as more stable and reliable, which are super attractive qualities in a partner.
So it's not about playing hard to get. It's about actually being okay with yourself.
Precisely. And the article even talks about how to deal with the fear of rejection, which so many of us experience.
Ugh, yeah, that little voice in your head that tells you not to even bother.
Totally. And the advice is brilliant in its simplicity. Just practice initiating conversations, even with people you're not romantically interested in.
Oh, I see. So you get used to putting yourself out there without all the pressure.
Exactly. It builds your social skills and helps you get comfortable with interacting.
It's like taking the fear factor out of the equation.
Yeah. And it's important to remember that confidence isn't about arrogance or acting like you're too cool for school. The article is very clear about that. It's about being genuine and respectful while also knowing your worth.
No negging allowed.
Definitely not. Speaking of no negging, the article does touch on rejection in a really healthy way. It acknowledges that it's never fun, but it encourages you to not take it personally and to keep putting yourself out there.
It even suggests that a no today could turn into a yes down the line.
Although it's wise not to get your hopes up about that.
For sure.
Hmm?
Okay, so confidence is the foundation. What's the next big thing the article highlights?
Right after confidence, the article jumps into the power of humor.
Always a winner in my book.
And it's not just because it's fun, there's actual science behind it. Studies have shown that laughter creates a sense of connection and can actually boost romantic interest.
That makes sense. When you're laughing with someone, you feel good and relaxed.
Exactly. And when we feel safe and comfortable, we're more likely to let our guard down and be open to connection. There's even specific research showing that what's called affiliative humor, the kind that focuses on sharing laughter and lightheartedness, is particularly effective in building rapport.
So it's not about being a stand-up comedian. It's more about being able to laugh easily and maybe poke fun at yourself a little.
Totally. Self-deprecating humor to a certain extent can be endearing as it shows you don't take yourself too seriously. But the key is balance. Too much of it can come across as insecure.
Right. It's all about finding that sweet spot. So confidence, humor. What's next on the attractiveness checklist?
This one might seem obvious, but it's worth emphasizing being kind and showing genuine interest in the other person.
Okay, so basic human decency goes a long way.
More than you might think. It's about making the other person feel seen and valued.
And it's more than just saying, you have nice eyes.
Much more. The article talks about offering sincere compliments and really taking the time to learn about the other person, what they're passionate about, what their experiences have been, their thoughts and feelings.
It's about treating them like a complex individual, not just a potential conquest.
Exactly. And there's this really cool psychological principle at play here called reciprocal attraction.
Reciprocal attraction.
Ah,
Sounds fancy. It's basically the idea that we're more likely to be attracted to someone who shows they're attracted to us.
makes sense. It's like getting a little ego boost. If someone thinks I'm cool, I'm probably going to think they're cool too.
It's not just about ego, though. When someone shows interest in us, it validates us, makes us feel good, and that positive feeling gets associated with that person. Plus, it reduces the fear of rejection, which can be a big barrier to initiating anything romantic.
So basically, showing interest in someone can actually make them more interested in you.
It's a powerful feedback loop. Okay, I'm definitely going to try that out. Now, I'm curious, what does the article say about exercise? I mean, it seems like it should be on the list,
Yeah.
but it's not always about just looking good.
Yeah, spot on. The article actually focuses more on how exercise makes you feel than how it makes you look.
So it's about the internal benefits more than the external ones.
Exactly. Exercise releases endorphins, which boost your mood, your energy levels, your confidence. And all of that radiates outwards, making you more attractive overall. It's about feeling good in your own skin, which naturally makes you seem more appealing to others.
It's funny because I've always felt more confident after a good workout.
And there's a biological reason for that. The article even suggests going on exercise dates, which I thought was brilliant.
Exercise dates. That sounds kind of fun, actually.
It is. It combines physical activity with social interaction, and there's even a link between the physiological arousal from exercise and sexual arousal.
Wow. I never thought about it that way.
It's pretty cool, right?
Yeah.
And they even quote Jillian Michaels in the article talking about how fitness can have these amazing ripple effects on your life.
Jillian Michaels from The Biggest Loser.
The one and only. She says that getting in shape can make you feel more capable, more confident, and even more deserving of love.
I love that. It's not just about fitting into a certain size. It's about feeling good about yourself from the inside out.
Absolutely. All right, ready for something a little more mysterious?
Ooh, I love a good mystery. Lay it on me.
So the article talks about the allure of mystery, the idea that you don't have to reveal everything about yourself right away.
Okay, that's interesting. I feel like we're always told to be open and vulnerable, especially in dating.
Vulnerability is important for sure, but there's something to be said for keeping a little bit of yourself back, especially in the early stages.
So you're not laying all your cards on the table on the first date.
Exactly. The article suggests that we're actually more intrigued by people when we don't know everything about them right away. It keeps us guessing and wanting to learn more.
It's like a slow burn instead of an explosion.
I like that analogy. From a psychological standpoint, a little bit of uncertainty can actually heighten our interest. Our brains are wired to pay more attention to things that are novel and unpredictable.
So the less we know, the more we want to know.
Precisely. The article even makes this funny comparison to those over-the-top romantic gestures you see in movies.
Like showing up with a boombox outside someone's window on the first date.
Exactly. It's
Yeah.
too much too soon. A little bit of mystery and restraint can go a long way in building attraction.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Now, this next one really surprised me. Apparently, being a bit of a digital recluse can be seen as attractive.
You mean not being on social media?
Yep, the zero online presence trend.
It does seem counterintuitive in our hyper-connected world, but the article makes a compelling argument.
So how does not being on Instagram make you hotter?
Well, the article suggests that it can signal a certain level of confidence and independence, like you're not seeking validation through likes and followers.
It's like you're saying, I'm good with just being me. I don't need the whole world to know what I'm up to.
Exactly, and it ties back into the allure of mystery. If someone can't stalk you online, they're more likely to be curious about you in real life.
I never thought about it that way, but it's kind of brilliant.
It is, but the article does acknowledge the counterpoint that social media can be a useful tool for getting to know someone's interests and values before you meet.
True. You can learn a lot about someone from their online presence.
So it's a bit of a balancing act. Maybe it's not about ditching social media entirely, but just being mindful of how you use it.
Right. Don't overshare, keep some things a mystery.
Oh.
Okay, let's talk about something a little less abstract appearance. The article talks about the importance of dressing well and showing a little skin.
It makes sense. While personality is definitely the most important thing, putting effort into your appearance shows that you care.
And the article is careful to point out that this isn't about conforming to some rigid beauty standard. It's about wearing clothes that make you feel good and express your personal style.
Exactly. It's about feeling confident and put together, which in turn makes you more attractive. And then there's the whole showing a little skin thing.
That's always an interesting topic. How much is too much?
Well, the article suggests that revealing a bit of skin can be a subtle signal of desire and can actually increase your perceived sexual attractiveness.
Really? There's science behind that.
Apparently so.
Yeah.
There's research suggesting that it can subconsciously trigger feelings of attraction. The article gives examples like strategically placed cutouts, sleeveless tops clothing that accentuates your physique.
So it's not about being overtly revealing.
Mhm.
It's about choosing pieces that subtly highlight your assets.
Exactly. And it's always about showing as much or as little as you feel comfortable with.
Right. Confidence is key, and feeling comfortable in your clothes is a big part of that. Yeah. And speaking of confidence, let's talk about the power of red. The article makes some pretty bold claims about wearing red to attract attention.
Red is definitely a powerful color. It's associated with so many things: passion, energy, excitement.
And danger. Don't forget danger.
That too. But in the context of attraction, those positive associations definitely come into play.
So wearing red is like sending a subconscious signal that you're confident and passionate.
Precisely. And even if you don't want to wear a full-on red outfit, you can incorporate it in smaller ways.
Like a red tie or a splash of red lipstick.
Exactly. It's about leveraging those psychological associations to your advantage.
Okay, let's move on to something that's absolutely essential: good hygiene.
Can't argue with that. It's the foundation of attractiveness.
The article lists all the basics: showering regularly, keeping your nails trimmed, washing your hair. It's about being clean and presentable.
And importantly, the article emphasizes that good hygiene isn't about adhering to some arbitrary standard of beauty.
Right, it's not about removing all your body hair or anything like that, unless that's what you personally prefer.
Exactly. It's about feeling good about yourself and being considerate of others.
Okay, this next one is all about social dynamics. The cheerleader effect.
Ah, yes, the idea that people look more attractive in groups.
Exactly. The article suggests that being seen interacting and laughing with friends makes you seem more approachable and likable.
It's kind of like social proof. If you're surrounded by people who seem to enjoy your company, you must be pretty cool.
Makes sense. It's like you're pre-vetted for being fun and engaging.
Plus, there's a visual element to it. Our brains tend to average out the attractiveness of a group. So if you're surrounded by attractive people, you're likely to be perceived as more attractive yourself.
Interesting. But the article does caution against staying glued to your friends the whole time. You have to create opportunities for one-on-one interaction, too.
Totally. It's all about finding that balance. All right, let's move on to nonverbal communication, eye contact, and smiling.
The classics.
They might be classic, but they're incredibly powerful. Eye contact shows that you're engaged and interested.
And the article even suggests initiating eye contact and offering a subtle smile as a way to signal that you're approachable.
It's a nonverbal invitation to connect.
But there's a fine line between eye contact and staring.
Absolutely. The article cautions against staring, which can be off-putting. And there's even research suggesting that around 3 seconds of sustained eye contact is a sweet spot for conveying interest without being creepy.
Good to know. I'll try to time my gazes from now on.
And when it comes to smiling, the article emphasizes the importance of a genuine smile, one that engages your whole face, not just your mouth.
You can always tell a fake smile. It just doesn't reach the eyes.
Exactly. A genuine smile signals warmth and openness, which are universally attractive qualities.
So much communication happens without words.
It really does. Speaking of nonverbal cues, the article also talks about approachable body language.
What are some of the key things to look for?
Things like relaxed posture, uncrossed arms and legs, keeping your body open and facing the person you're talking to.
It's about making yourself seem accessible and inviting.
Exactly. And once you're in conversation, subtly mirroring someone's body language can create a sense of rapport.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. It's like you're subconsciously saying, we're on the same wavelength.
And tilting your head slightly can show that you're listening attentively. The article even mentions dancing as a way to appear fun and approachable.
That makes sense. Dancing shows you're not afraid to let loose and have a good time.
And then there was this funny little tidbit from a reader poll about touching your hair not being as universally irresistible as some people think.
Oh yeah, I remember that. So maybe put the hair twirling on hold. Okay, this next one I thought was really clever. Using excuses to flirt.
Tell me more about that.
It's about finding natural, low-pressure ways to start a conversation. The article gives this example of being in a bookstore and asking someone for a book recommendation.
That's a great one. It's a casual way to strike up a conversation, and it gives you a built-in topic to talk about.
And if the person isn't interested, No harm, no foul. You were just asking for a book recommendation after all.
It's a great way to gauge someone's interest without putting too much pressure on the interaction.
So it's flirting with a safety net.
Exactly. Okay, let's get into some more overt flirting techniques. The article mentions a few that I thought were really interesting.
Like what?
One is gently biting your lip, often with a slight smile. It's a way to subtly draw attention to your mouth, and it can be quite suggestive.
Oh, I've definitely seen that one in action.
And then there's the concept of push and pull teasing.
Ah, the art of playful banter.
The article describes it as combining slightly pushing away with your words while physically pulling closer with your body language. It creates a bit of tension and signals intimacy, but in a fun, playful way.
It's like a little game of cat and mouse.
Exactly. But it's important to remember that this should never be mean-spirited or manipulative. It's all about creating a playful dynamic.
Right, it should be fun for both people.
Yeah.
And of course, there's the power of touch.
Always a powerful tool for building intimacy. The article talks about subtle touches like brushing your hand against someone's arm or shoulder whispering something in their ear.
It's amazing how a little touch can create so much tension.
It's about breaking that physical barrier in a respectful way. And it's crucial to be mindful of boundaries and to back off if someone doesn't seem receptive to your touch.
Consent is always key. Okay, this next piece of advice is all about being direct.
Sometimes it's best to just cut to the chase.
The article challenges the whole idea of expecting someone to be a mind reader. It encourages you to just ask for what you want, whether it's a date, a kiss, or anything else.
It can be scary to put yourself out there like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the article reframes it as a worthwhile risk. It's better to be upfront and honest than to waste time wondering what if.
And you never know, the other person might be waiting for you to make the first move.
That's a good point. Okay, last but not least, the article gets into the realm of dirty talk and open communication about sex.
Things are getting steamy.
The article explains that incorporating a little bit of dirty talk can really amp up the sexual tension.
And it can range from subtle innuendo to more explicit language depending on the situation and your comfort levels.
Right? It's about finding what feels good for both you and your partner. And the article also stresses the importance of open communication about sex within a relationship.
Absolutely. Talking about your desires, your fantasies, your turn-ons, it can really deepen your connection and lead to more fulfilling experiences.
It might feel awkward at first, but it's worth it in the long run.
Definitely. Open communication is the key to a healthy and satisfying sex life. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We have. What are some of the key takeaways from all this expert advice?
Well, I think the biggest theme is the importance of confidence. It underpins everything else.
It's about feeling good about yourself and projecting that out into the world.
Exactly. And then there's the importance of genuine connection, showing interest in the other person, treating them with kindness and respect.
It's not just about seduction, it's about human connection.
And we can't forget about nonverbal communication. Being mindful of your body language, your eye contact, your smile, all of these things can send powerful signals.
It's like a secret language that we're all speaking.
And finally, the article emphasizes the power of direct communication. Don't be afraid to express what you want and what you're looking for.
It's about taking ownership of your desires.
Exactly. And I think it's important to remember that while these methods are based on research and expert advice, attraction is ultimately a very personal thing.
What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. So use these insights as a starting point experiment. See what resonates with you and what feels authentic to your personality.
It's about becoming more aware of the dynamics of attraction so you can navigate them with more confidence and intention.
And maybe even have a little fun along the way.
Now, that's something we can all get behind.
Mm.
So as you go out into the world today, pay attention to how people interact. Notice those subtle cues and signals, and most importantly, be yourself, but maybe with a little extra confidence and awareness.
You never know what might happen.
That's the beauty of it. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the fascinating world of sexual attraction. We'll catch you next time on The Deep Dive.